So this is how I build my picture frames. First, I need the wood. This is select pine, and these boards are 2.5 inches wide. And then I set my saw to 45 degrees so that I can cut the angles so that they fit together perfectly. I make sure I take off all the stickers. And then I get ready to cut my first angle. Then I take the tape measure and I measure how long I want the longest side to be. In this case, my canvas is 36 inches wide and the longest side of my wood is 39 inches. Once I have the first piece cut, then I can simply trace it onto the remaining pieces of wood and cut it exactly the same size and shape. I'm going to need 4 pieces for this frame, and they're all the same size because this particular frame is a square. After that, I'm going to line them all up and sand the ends just to make sure everything is nice and smooth, and then connect them into a square. Then I use corner clamps to make sure it's a perfect 90-degree angle. I first place them onto the clamps. Then once they're all positioned, I take wood glue and put it in the corner and tighten the clamps. My corners don't always line up perfectly, so if there are any gaps, I'll show you how to fix it shortly. I let them dry for about an hour before I try to nail it together because I'm using an old-fashioned hammer and nails. However, if you have a nail gun, then you can probably do it right away. I'm hammering one finishing nail through each corner, making sure it pierces through both pieces of wood. Then I can remove the clamps and prepare the frame for painting. I'm going to use wood filler on the corners where they don't quite meet up, and I'm going to make it very smooth so when I paint it you can't tell that there were ever any gaps. Now I want this particular frame to remain flat, but if I were making a floater frame, I would want to take some smaller pieces of wood that are 1.5 inches wide and cut them also at a 45-degree angle, set them on top of my frame, attach them with wood glue, then hammer nails into them from the underside of the frame. I've also made untraditional floater frames where I take these pieces of wood and place them on the outside of my flat frame as opposed to the top, and then proceeded with the same steps, attaching them with glue, and then taking the nails and hammering from the outside to the inside. I have a sponge roller and some wood primer. I'm going to paint over the entire visible area of the frame with this primer to make sure that the paint I'm going to use is going to stick to the frame very well. After allowing the primer to dry, then I can take my paint and roll on the color that I like. I'm using black on this particular piece. This is exterior house paint. Since I'm a muralist too, I have this laying around. And then I'm ready for my painting. I'm going to place it in the middle as close as I can get it. This is the tough part, making sure that I measure it so that I don't have any sides that are too long or too short. I want them to be about the same, as close as I can get it. It may not be 100% perfect, but I'm going to get it pretty close. Then I choose a corner and I drill a screw through the back side of the frame. Then I'm going to go to the side diagonal to the first screw, and I'm going to place another screw in the back of the frame. Make sure that when you choose your screw that it is long enough to go through both the frame that you made and the picture frame, but not so long that it's going to pierce through your canvas. Then I can lift up my picture without anything coming unattached. And in this video, I am screwing with my painting upright, but I would suggest laying it face down onto a table or a very clean surface to make sure your wood is screwed together tightly. Then, about a third down from the top of my painting, I am going to screw in my wire hanger. I am attaching it directly to the frame that I just built. And voila! This is my flat canvas frame that could just as easily be a floater frame.